This episode is brought to you by Nordstrom. Summer's almost out and fall's calling. Luckily, Nordstrom has everything you need for the season ahead, all under $100. Discover new arrivals from your favorite brands like Mango, Princess Polly, Wave, Free People, BDG, and more. Whether you're planning a last-minute getaway, heading back to class, or refreshing your office looks, you'll find the latest trends and beauty must-haves without breaking your budget. It's easy, too, with free shipping, free returns, and in-store order pickup. Shop today, in stores, and at Nordstrom.com.
This episode is brought to you by Espolón Tequila. Slow, sticky, snoozy. They call these the dog days of summer. But Espolón? They don't do boring. Welcome to the Marg Days. Espolón Tequila. 100% blue Weber agave, born to shake up your summer. Just add lime, agave, and a little attitude. Visit espolontequila.com. Espolón Tequila, 40% alcohol, volume 80 proof. Copyright 2025 Campari America, New York, New York. Drink responsibly.
The year was 1972. Muhammad Ali was back fighting, having been banned for over 3.5 years for draft evasion during the Vietnam War. Having appealed a 5-year sentence, claiming his religion of the Nation of Islam was opposed to the war, he never went to jail, but they did revoke his boxing license.
Yes.
So by the time he came back, 2 quick warm-up fights, they weren't enough to beat champ Joe Frazier, who had about 12 fights in that space of time when he wasn't active. Frazier refused to give him a rematch, and Ali was stuck out in the cold. Too good for most of the people to take a chance fighting.
Yeah.
And he couldn't get a shot at the belt. And he needed money.
Too crazy for Boy Town. Too much of a boy for Crazy Town.
So Ali had to turn to countries like Switzerland, Japan, Canada.
Yeah.
Real fights and mad exhibitions.
Yes.
He had a $250,000 call-out fee.
Yeah.
And he needed the money. He was very close to fighting Wilt Chamberlain of NBA/Swordsmith.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now, sorry, if you're going to do Ali episode, you need to put in more. You need to list more countries. I watched that interview you sent me. That was the big takeaway. He loves lists.
Yeah.
He was fighting in countries like Switzerland, Japan, China, Australia, New Zealand. Everything he said was like 10 examples long.
He's got a phenomenal memory.
That's not what I took from that, but okay.
No, but when he starts listing out things, I would forget what it like. Not
he's listing like just the countries we all know.
I mean, I'd forget what I was saying in the middle.
Yeah,
of
that's kind of what I thought was happening to him. He was kind of maybe it was just TV back then. People had more time, more patience.
Well, that's true, and also he was a 30-year-old man who had been punched in the head for a living.
Yeah.
By 1972, Ali had another kid on the way from his second wife, while his first wife was suing him over unpaid alimony.
Yep.
And then his mistress was also pregnant.
Muhammad Ali money. Open with that.
But Harold Conrad was boxing promoter, Ali's promoter. He had Ali's ear, having got him to do the famous photo shoot with the Beatles back in the 60s. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen that, no.
Okay, we'll show you after.
Sure.
And then he also convinced Malcolm X and the Nation of Islam as a whole to get the feck out of Florida the week he was fighting Sonny Liston for the heavyweight belt when he won the championship for the first time.
Yeah.
Because it was helping to not sell a lot of tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 60s America. He was out talking about the white man.
Yeah.
And how black people in America should be given their own states. And yeah. It was, we'll talk about that during the OG interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, he managed to go and sit down with Malcolm X and be like, you need to leave.
Yeah.
And Malcolm X did with all the people. And then they sold a load of tickets and he won the belt. Starting like the part of the Ali legend. Ali didn't like that. But in hindsight, he was probably like, that was a good idea.
Oh, he didn't like getting all the...
kicking all the lads out when he had just recently converted to the Nation of Islam. And he's like, this is going to be the whole part of my character. Like, it can be just after you win the belt. How about you just do that first?
He described it very well. Yeah, again, that interview was just like, that's how they sold tickets. He would just keep talking about like, Yeah, black states and black rights and call the white man the devil, and they get all the fighting in a place like Florida, and they're like, oh, God damn it, we gotta go. Who was he fighting? He called him the last great white hope or something.
Is that Quarry?
Maybe, I don't know. They get all the good old boys riled up, and they're like, God damn it, we gotta go see this. Fucking hell. See, I'm getting too rolled up.
Yeah, it's
now, just in case Jason tries to edit around there's a break there because I spilt a glass of water, not because if you listen back, it definitely sounded like I was about to say the N-word. We gotta go see this, boop. But that's what he was aiming for. He's getting the old white boys riled up.
I can't just still edit around that.
Yeah, sure.
Just it's
just like the last thing I said was doing that impression, and then it'll cut to something else.
Comes to you going,
yeah.
Yeah, it's the tried and true classic format. Get them either love you or hate you.
Yeah,
it's one or the other because you can't be indifferent.
He's playing the heel.
Yeah, because that's what this, the opposite of love or hate is indifference. It's not. It's either love or hate.
Yeah, those are the opposites of each other.
That'd be the classic. That's what everyone would have hated McGregor. Everyone hated, for what he's done, all those sexual assault allegations. There's Floyd Mayweather for beating women.
Yeah.
They didn't want to do that. They were trying to sell tickets.
They were just trying
to sell tickets.
It's commitment to the bit.
The kayfabe.
Yeah, exactly.
So this fella, Harold Conrad.
Yeah.
He's the promoter. He's a former sports writer, knew the game inside out. He was over in London. He went to check into his hotel. He had 3 messages that he'd missed, already waiting for him at the hotel. Urgent messages.
Yeah.
All from the same person.
His wife.
Buddy Sugru.
Yeah.
Buddy Sugru was a famous strongman known for his work in Duffy's Circus. He travelled the length and breadth of Ireland, lifting people with his teeth, before heading over to the UK to continue making a name for himself as the world's strongest publican.
The world's strongest publican. That's great.
We will end up doing a full episode about Buddy. I'm going to run through a little bit of him in this, but we need a whole episode just for him.
Grant.
He was crazy enough to pay the call-out fee. Crazy like a fox. When Conrad called Buddy back, he was asking him, could he get Ali any chance? Get him into Dublin later on this year.
Yeah.
And when Conrad asked against who, Buddy said, I'll leave that up to you.
So he's just calling them out.
He's just called randomly, like, get Ali to Ireland. It's like, venue, date, who's he fighting? He's like, don't worry about that. I'm Buddy Sugru.
Maybe that got lost in the first place.
Carries weight.
Just like I'd be carrying weight all around this country.
With my teeth.
Yes. Will you fight him? Oh, God, no. I'm fucking insane.
So when they met up...
I need my teeth.
But they meet up and Conrad explains, but he's like, oh, perfect, there you are, shake hands, let's do the deal. And he's like, whoa, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
It's going to cost, I think he says 300,000 of a call-out fee, over what he actually needed, it's a way to get rid of any jokers.
So who's you have to pay 300 grand to fight him?
No,
or that's the prize money?
That's the price. No, it's just to get Ali as a call-out fee. No matter what happens, what tickets are sold, whatever, this is Ali's
right.
pay.
Okay.
So he's getting to say, like, today, a couple of million. To just show up to these easy fights. But he says, not a problem at all. He brings him down to the bank, his bank, talks to the teller and says, would you tell him that Buddy Sugru is good for 300 grand? Instantly, that's his idea, saying, not a problem, let's do it right now.
No worries, I got the money.
I'll go down, and he just says, tell him I'm fucking rich.
Yeah.
And the teller's like, oh yeah, of course, Buddy's good for 300,000. Sure, at this stage, there's a little backstory. Obviously, he's been very successful. He's made a lot of money. He has done a lot of promotion of, we'll do it all in his episode.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of like wrestling fights. He's done some boxing ones that probably did actually lose some money with Joe Louis, but that put him, knew a little bit about boxing. He had a little bit of, cachet.
Yeah.
Then Conrad says, right, 50% of all profits I'm getting. I'm not putting any money in.
Yeah.
My deal is just, I want 50% of the profits. I'll get Ali, he gets all of his money, and I'll get a load of profits if we make money.
Yeah.
Buddy, the shrewd businessman, says, no problem at all. There's plenty more where that came from.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
He's got the money. He's a terrible negotiator, but he's got big dreams.
It seems like he's got everything he wants. So in a way, the perfect negotiator.
Well, yeah, he has a bunch of pubs. He has four of the most successful pubs, say, in London at the time, because it's every time he'd do a giant, we'll go through his list, but say like pulling a bus across the London Bridge with his teeth. The
lads are turning out for that.
Yeah, things like that. He's been on the BBC a couple of times just doing strongman stuff. And they're like, yes. Well, as soon as you'd see that, they're like, right, he's class. Let's go have a pint in his pub. I want to shake that man's hand.
Sure.
Let me shake his hand. This is in April. but the first record of Butty talking about Ali in Ireland was back in February when he said he was bringing Ali over. He said he'd met Ali in a pub the year before, which had actually happened.
Oh, okay.
Because he was over doing for Ovaltine. Is that like Bovril?
Yeah, or is it? Yeah, but, drink Ovaltine.
Yeah, so I think it's maybe like an American version of that, or some drink that he was sponsored by Ovaltine to go do a promotional tour of the UK. I don't think he was fighting.
Right.
And
hey, this is fucking Bovril town.
But so he claims that Ali said he'd do it for 100,000 because so much money would be made for the mentally handicapped children of the country. A big a cause very close to Ali's.
Ali, that's just from Anna. The poor unfortunates of this country.
But everyone laughed at Buddy. The butt of the joke.
Damn.
Yeah, because, well, he was a known liar. That he'd many feats
ever pulled that bus at all. It was driving across the bridge. He just ran in front of it.
Pulled him across by his teeth. He did many feats of strength, but also promoted like a lot of nonsense. So yeah, he pulled the bus across the London Bridge. He had one of his barmen, which would maybe its own episode, maybe it'll just be a segment of his one. He tried to break the underground burial world record.
Okay.
Yeah, he spent 61 days under in the ground.
What?
Yeah. It's a whole thing. Mick Meaney. It's a great story.
Mick Meaney spent 61 days buried alive.
Yeah, in London. Oh. Yeah, and when he found his wife found out about it in the newspaper. And he'd said that, well, if I told her, she wouldn't let me do it.
Ironically, she would have buried me alive. So
but he had also claimed that, and this is not because everyone in Ireland would have seen him in Duffy Circus or doing his own promotional stuff.
Yeah.
In the UK, there was things like, say, claiming that his son was the strongest baby alive. There was a photo there in I think it was the Daily Mirror.
I think Fionn McCool would like a word with this. Big chatter.
Did you ever see Fionn McCool when he's 14 months old hold up an 8-pound medicine ball?
No, that's fair enough.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Fionn would have held up like it was being a beach ball. There's a painted medicine ball on the front of it.
But Buddy claimed that his son was the strongest baby in the world, and by the time he was 21, he'd be strong enough to let a 1-ton tractor drive over his chest.
Nice. Yeah.
He also claimed to have the head of Nelson's column in his pub.
That could have been true.
Well, he told everyone the week after it was blown up, so 1966, that he had it and it was coming over. And it was going to be in the pub. Everyone get down to I think his pub was actually called the Admiral Nelson.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think because he has a few pubs, I think it is that one that he goes to. And the pub is absolutely packed.
Yeah.
To the rafters.
Yeah.
And then Buddy comes in and goes, lads, you'll never guess what.
My son's after being driven over by a tractor. he was only 18. He wasn't ready, damn it. I told him.
But Buddy says that some mystery and some ne'er-do-well is after jumping into the backyard overnight and stealing the
hell.
I know. Unreal.
I need a pint. Yeah. Anyone else?
Well, don't worry. What we lack in Nelson's head, we've got in
Guinness.
Salty chicken goujons.
I think it was a Guinness head.
Well, that's why,
one head that won't be missing. It'll be the fine top of the pint of Guinness.
But a great man to turn a tale.
Yeah.
It wasn't long before the story going around was that actually, in fact, the head had been there that night. And a lot of people saying I was there. And what actually happened was the head was there for all to see, and we all took turns shouting abuse at it. He was
over what? You shouldn't have beat the French. You should have left the Spaniards alone.
Yeah, I suppose like there was a lot of the IRA just blowing it up, so they were fuck him. But he would often offer other publicans £500 to fight him.
Yeah,
and they'd all say no. Thus proven that Buddy was more of a man than them.
The strongest publican in the country.
He challenged the Cambridge and Oxford boat teams. I assume that's rowing teams. To a tug of war.
Oh yeah.
Again. None of them man enough to step up and do it. So it turns out Buddy just bet the Cambridge and Oxford rowing team.
God, I need to start doing that.
Yeah, just call them out. Don't let them see the video.
No, obviously just send them a letter or fucking unchecked email and then you're flying.
And then my favourite one, because I did hear from one person that he had a nightclub when the pubs used to close pretty early. He'd have like an Irish nightclub called the Puck Fair.
Okay.
And that's where people go for late night pints.
Yeah.
And while that might be true, I also saw a story that I've seen in a couple of places that he organised an indoor puck fair in one of his pubs.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Why?
Mental. Because he's mad.
Fair enough.
And if that was happening, you'd go watch.
That's fair. Yeah.
So, and then even if it didn't happen, you'd be there, so you might as well have a pint.
What would he done? Lift the goat up in the crane.
There's a and there's a story as well. I think about that someone maybe stole a goat from the wheelbarrow. That there's. I know. I think that did actually happen though. I think
you won't believe this. The bloody goat's after eating Nelson's head. Fuck. What are we going to do tomorrow?
But there's a story of him stopping a
Mick, you need to get in the coffin. We need to distract the folks.
Well, see that? Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say about him because that's a great story.
Right.
But he stopped a robbery in Dublin by throwing 6 men into the River Liffey.
Nice.
He escaped like Houdini out of a tightly sewn sack after being fecked into the River Lee.
Okay.
He bought St. Patrick's Island.
Right.
The one just off the coast of Dublin.
Yeah.
It's a small little tiny island, but he said he wanted to start a health kind of cult out there.
Right.
Big men grow small and small men grow big. He said he was going to build a 150 foot statue to St. Patrick. And he was probably also the one who leaked it to the papers that Mick Jagger was after buying it. And it forced Mick Jagger to come out and rubbish the rumours saying, I don't know that. I haven't bought an island. And I don't even know who Buddy Sugru is. But yeah, you got Mick Jagger in print saying his name.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something.
And because I actually don't know if I wrote this into the story, so I'll just say it now. During the week of the fight, he definitely tried to sell that island to Muhammad Ali. It was an island. There's nothing there. It's not on it. It's tiny.
Yeah.
But he's like, who wouldn't want an island off the coast of Dublin?
Sure. I mean, you seem to like the place, Muhammad. Would you care to buy an island?
You've got loads of money.
Yeah.
1972 was the year. Not a great time for the country. This is a time when the Troubles were full swing.
Yeah.
And nobody wanted to take the risk of heading over to Ireland. Like Wales and Scotland that year refused to come over for the rugby.
Yeah.
Because of the violence.
Sure.
At the same time, Pelé had been there earlier that year for a game for Santos, his Brazilian team.
Yeah.
In the Daily Mount Park against a combined Bohemian/Drumcondra 11.
Yes.
Which will be, again, its own episode.
Sure.
Sugru deposits, I think it's like 25 grand up front. I'm not sure if that's for Ali or if that's for the
Conrad.
venue.
Oh, okay.
Croke Park.
Yeah.
Don't go small. You could do a national stadium. You could do the 3 Arena. No.
Croke Park.
Croke Park. We're going to do it. It's going to be, I think it's a smaller Croke Park.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's the capacity?
Probably like 50,000, 55, 60.
But still, like, probably the biggest venue that we had.
Oh, yeah. And it could, like, I saw some reports it could have been 70. Let's just call it 50 or 60.
Well, because even by, today's numbers is 88, but we've got such things as
82.
health. All right, but even today you've got health and safety. Back then, if you add in the fact that lads would be sitting on top of each other's shoulders, easily 400,000 people in that stadium.
Like the Maracanã, but it's a big Brazilian stadium.
Yeah.
But the opponent was all set to be, well, they were hoping for Newry man. Newry born, had gone over to England, had become a professional boxer. Danny McAlinden, who'd previously beaten Ali's brother, Rahman.
Okay.
But he lost the fight that Harold Conrad went to go see him in.
Right. And
I couldn't get over that. So I do proper, like, out of all of the fixed boxing fights.
Yeah.
Out of all of the times where they just pick someone shite and be like, right, this it should be this. He loses. He gets destroyed. He gets knocked out in like the 8th round.
Right.
After being badly beaten. So instead, the call goes.
And Conrad's like, there's not enough of a match.
Well, yeah, because you need to be selling tickets, so that instead they go and get this guy called Alvin Blue Lewis from Detroit, Michigan.
Yes.
Sugru gave an interview just before the fight saying, a tough man, strong. I seen him lifting a car last night on the road. A terrific man altogether.
I was trying to run him over and he pure lifted the car out in front of me.
I was trying to run my son over.
Get on.
And again, Blue Lewis comes in and stops it. Great man, terrific man.
My son owes his life to him.
Ali said he wanted to fight Lewis because George Foreman and Joe Frazier wouldn't. They were too afraid to give Lewis a shot. He was too good. Lewis's thing was that he was... he came from an impoverished background in the wrong side of Detroit. But I suppose at this time, Detroit had gone to shit, so it's probably all the wrong side of the track.
Yeah.
The street had more allure than the school, and Alvin got himself caught up in some bad situations.
Yeah.
He and his friends would rob people, beat them up with their hands, not guns, like real men.
Yeah.
But they'd take the money. But for a man the size and strength of Blue Lewis, that was always going to end badly. And during one mugging, he hits this guy or beats him up so bad, white guy.
Yeah.
He beats him so bad, gets a one-way ticket to the Shadow Realm. First stop, the land of wind and ghosts.
What the fuck?
Alvin goes to there'll be at least one boxing fan who likes this.
Yeah.
Alvin goes to jail for 30 years.
Okay.
But in prison, he starts boxing. He might have boxed a little bit when he was younger and that anyway, but now he's got time to focus on it. He has nothing else to do. He becomes the prison champion, the hardest man in the prison. So he's knocking lads out left and right.
Yeah.
And centre. Boxing became his only focus, dedicating himself to the sport. His skill in the ring, combined with his reputation as a dodgy man who killed a fella, meant that no one was going to mess with him in prison.
Yeah.
And in 1965, he manages to parlay that respect into, how do I put it? The prison warden, along with a couple of others, are captured by a group of inmates and held hostage.
Oh.
And the only person the inmates would listen to and trust was Alvin.
Okay.
So he manages to go in and negotiate the release of the warden.
Warden, you're not going to believe this, but I tried to talk to the lads. They said they'll only let the prisoners go if you let me out of jail to go fight Muhammad Ali. I told them it was crazy.
He doesn't ask for that. He just does it out of the goodness of his own heart.
Yeah.
And then he, very soon after, early parole. He's only served 5.5 years of the 30.
Yeah.
The warden's like, no, you're a completely changed man and you saved my life, so...
Did he kill the guy he beat up?
Oh, he did.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah, so he's done 5.5 years for that, but he's turned his life around now. He's a good lad.
He's a good boy.
Upon his release, he began a professional boxing career, and because of the reputation of killing a man, his story had been from jail, and the fact that he was exciting. He'd stand in the middle of the ring and just knock lads out and get hit.
That is pretty exciting.
A bit. So his record is beating a lot of smaller lads and knocking them out real quickly. So he's interesting. You don't know what to get from him. No one wants to give him a chance because he's dangerous. He's got power in his hands.
Sure.
Ali was in Detroit doing some exhibitions.
Yeah.
So like a little bit before the fight, maybe a couple of years. So he has sparred with him a few times over the years. So he knows he's not as good as him. Ali learned of his story, liked the look of the man, said, some point down the line, I'm going to give you a call. I'm going to help this lad out.
Right.
So when McLinden loses, he's the fella to call. He's going to get the ears boxed off him and done.
I guess you want an exciting fight. You want something to put... That's a good sell.
Yeah.
This guy's coming out of prison. I think he describes it later on that, other guys didn't want him. Because Ali's also trying to get back from, 3.5 years hiatus?
Yeah.
This is like his road back into it.
Yeah, because, he's lost to Fraser and now he has to, because of that, he has to go on all these, this tour around the world.
Yeah.
So he has to sell himself to, he's called like the world champion. He's going around all these other places where Fraser's not fighting, and he's fighting these, he's building up the story. He's constantly saying Lewis is dangerous, he's terrifying, knockout artist, really selling the fight.
Yeah, but he has lost to Fraser, and I guess, but he says that the other lads don't want to bother fighting Al because he's an unknown quantity. There's nothing in it for them.
No.
If they beat him, it doesn't matter.
And if you lose to him,
you lost to him. Yeah. Reminds me of a young man called Desert Fox trying to goad a champion, Steve Hoy, into a race. Nothing to lose, but eventually he's just going around the world, nitpicking, cracking away, and finally the other guy has to cave.
You know when they say don't have in-jokes in podcasts, you have to explain to the audience? Let's leave that one hanging out there. Desert, that one's for you. The edited video's coming out soon. Do you know Yul Brynner?
Remind me. Yeah, I know the name.
Russian-American actor, Oscar for The King and I. He's in The Magnificent Seven.
Yeah.
Westworld, the film, not the TV show. Does he have alopecia or just a bald head? Anyway, you'd know him. But his son Rock had studied in...
Oh yeah, Jesus, Yule. Yeah.
And his son Rock had studied in Trinity. When he went over and did like philosophy and stuff over there. So
Rockbrenner.
Rockbrenner. So he spent a little time in Ireland. He was an artsy kind of a layabout fella. I think he was based in the UK now, but he was rich, so he's just travelling around doing whatever.
Yeah.
He was tasked with being the man on the ground. He knew the lay of the land of Dublin, and he was like, I think I'd actually like Dublin when I was there. I'll go back over, go to all the old college haunts.
Sure.
A crack. He became, Ali would always refer to him as his bodyguard, which is funny because he's a tiny little spindly fella. No fighting experience.
Yeah.
But he'd kind of know his way around a little bit. There is, so his first thing was that he said, it's just, he's American, he's thick.
Yeah.
And I'd say he probably spent most of his time around Protestants in Trinity. He gave everyone a green blazer, an emerald green blazer, so they could all walk off as a posse coming from the plane.
Right.
Because he was like, just like St. Patrick's Day, the Irish all love it when they all wear green.
Sure.
Yeah. So I don't know what he's really learnt from his time in Ireland.
Yeah, not much.
But, probably not much. He does go into, actually definitely not a lot, because what he does is he's like, one great thing he wants to do is Ali comes over, he brings him into a pub very close to us. It'd be the old Stand right across from the Inter. because that was one of the big drinking spots when he was in college.
Right.
He's like, look at them now, all the barmen. I'll go in, I'll show them. They never thought much of me. I'll bring in the heavyweight, like Muhammad Ali with me as a personal friend.
Yeah.
He said he walks in, they're like, there's Ali. Anyway. And I was like, that's the most Irish thing.
Yeah.
They're like, don't acknowledge it. Don't say anything. He's like, Muhammad, what are you having? Ali arrives anyway into Ireland to about
a pint of the black stuff, eh? What?
About 600 people are there to greet him.
At
the airport when he comes down. Yeah, so he's there's music from the Emerald Girls pipe band, newspaper and radio people all around. There's also South Kerry TD Timothy Chubb O'Connor, who gives him a shillelagh as a gift.
They got Chubb in.
They got Chubb in to give him a shillelagh.
Yeah.
First thing off the plane, he goes up and hands him that. And then when one reporter asks him, do you think you're going to beat Blue Lewis, Ali? He picks up the stick and goes, I'll whoop him easy now.
Yeah.
Great.
Are you going to talk about that video you sent me? What is that little tour?
That's a thing that we'll get into that later on.
Yeah.
So when a reporter, so someone mentions Danny
Muhammad Ali's like travel blog.
It's a way to basically sell extra tickets real close to it's some Cork-based director, Marcus something, but yeah, they're like, we need to sell extra tickets, so let's do a quick video.
Yeah.
Pump it around the place. So some reporter mentions to him that Danny McAlinden, the man has lost the biggest opportunity of his life.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned him, like the idea of beating him in the future. He says, if he even dreamed he'd beat me, he better wake up and apologise.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of quotes.
Yeah.
Someone asks him about the North, and he says, I don't know the reason why there's shootings and killings up there. When you do not know the reason, it's wise not to comment. It seems very headachy and very scary. I just like to take care of things in my own area. So he didn't know a whole lot about he knew something was going up in the North, but he didn't know really what it was. He'd learned a lot about that over his time in Ireland.
Sure.
So as soon as Ali arrives...
in 70... This is 72?
72. So this is the year before the bombing campaign in England.
But it's...
And it's the height of... Well, so I think I have it wrote down later on.
Yeah.
This is... His time is like coincides with the end of a ceasefire that's happening up there, and 37 people die in the space of the time that he's over. It's just a lot of death. There's also some 14-year-old boy who's been sexually assaulted and murdered by some UVF people.
Yeah.
So as soon as Ali arrives, the disorganization starts.
Okay.
Get him in first. Worry about it. It'll be all right in the night. Both fighters were training out of the handball alley in Croke Park. Someone said you should have called it the Muhammad Ali.
You can get it in there, it's a bit written down. It makes more sense.
Yeah, so they're both training in the same handball alley.
Yeah,
that it's Ali first, and then Blue after. And usually Ali, you'd be a little bit late. I'd go a little bit long. I just have him waiting in the background, just annoying him. But
what is the logic? Is that just a little bit of other teams kicking into Hill 16? Just surely the whole country, they're both training, and it doesn't even seem like it's fit for one of them to train in.
Well, it's the...
Why are they training in a handball alley at all?
Well, they should just be in a boxing gym.
Sure.
But it's also around Croke Park, and it's a busy area of Dublin. A lot of people go down and see it. They're like, it's also the stadium where the fight's happening.
Okay. All right.
But as soon as Ali got into the ring, he demanded a better one. Yeah. Now, I think that's... because
Who was he? Roy Keane?
Well, actually, I think the story might have been when they got there wasn't even one. That they were like the first day or two of training might have just been proper Saipan, no balls have arrived.
Sure, okay,
but
it's 1970s Ireland.
Yeah. Boxing's been a thing for a long time. There should be loads of gyms.
Go on, collar and elbow wrestling, old fashioned. None of this fancy rings and cameras and showmanship. Just grab a fella by the collar.
No, because we would
wrestle him.
We would have already had many heavyweight champions. We would have had John L. Sullivan by now. There's so many lads.
These are all men that are out fighting in fields and bogs. These are not men that are. I don't know. They're not going into a ring. If you walked into a ring, the first thing they say is, "This is square." First of all. What are you trying? Sort of mind games you try to pull here.
Exactly, mind games.
Mind games.
Handball alley. That's not a gym.
Handball alley. Yeah, these are men they're used to fighting. And
there was definitely one person over the space of that couple of weeks, being like, and when can I have access? I have time booked in the alley.
I'm
just saying, Rule 42 is nowhere near been implemented. This is meant to be just for the national games.
North Dublin St. Kilruin's handball team has been practicing this alley every Tuesday at 5 o'clock for the last 12-40 years. Put your hand down now. No, I don't want to hear Muhammad Ali or any other fellow walking in. Let me finish. You let me finish now.
But Buddy has
Father O'Sullivan hears about this.
But Buddy organises a couple of the boys from Edenderry Boxing Club. They quickly build a ring or dismantle theirs and bring it over to Croke Park. Either way, they make a ring.
Okay.
And they bring it over and set that up, which at one point was under threat because it said they're driving it over there. Threat from the Orangemen. A report came from a British army base saying that they'd had a report that the Orangemen were going to try and put a bomb into the ring.
Right, but is this from the British army men who are like, oh yeah, so we actually have to, we better be there. We'll be ringside, keeping an eye on the place in case the bloody rascals come down.
I wouldn't be surprised if Ali just
called it in himself.
Yeah, because there was a report of he was like, when tickets weren't shifting for the Sonny Liston fight because of the whole Malcolm X and Nation of Islam thing, there was he had said, you know what, to go down a treat.
Yeah,
if we've faked a kidnapping, if I got kidnapped by a bunch of white guys, a lot of people would start buying tickets if I came back just in the layout. Which didn't happen.
Sure. Yeah, because I didn't realize that. I don't know. I didn't know much about Muhammad Ali, I suppose, but I thought. In my head, I thought that the whole changing his name, Nation of Islam stuff came like well after when he was it's like right at the height of his.
Right before.
It was in the middle of the
belt.
tree. Yeah. Is he doing tree fights? Well, I think I found this out from watching Mad Men again this year. Is there 3 fights against Sonny Liston and changed his name between the first 2?
It's Liston that he fights the first time as Cassius Clay.
Yes.
And then I think he switches then to Muhammad Ali.
Which is just, I kind of assumed that all that stuff, I don't know, you see that a lot with sports stars and they're kind of like dwindling, they start going on. But like he's full on Nation of Islam.
He was doing it on the rise.
Yeah, which is crazy. More respect to him.
Oh, it is insane.
That's properly.
That. And he wouldn't have been at this time as big because he hasn't fought. He's lost to Frazier.
Yeah,
but he hasn't had the Rumble in the Jungle. He hasn't had the Thriller in Manila. He hasn't beaten Frazier.
Yeah,
or George Foreman.
Sure.
So that he's still a legend, and he's like, everyone's like, oh, he's maybe the champ. He's like, he's a great talker. He's a pretty guy.
Yeah,
but he's not the legend that he'll go on to become.
Okay.
But he's still he was a world champion when he beat Liston the first time. He was an 8-1 underdog.
Yeah,
and he bet the shite out of him.
Yeah.
But Bushy had to organise the boys from Edenderry to come over and get the ring going. And then after trainings, Ali would head up to a hotel in Kiltiernan. South County Dublin, in Opperman's, which had just been newly built, which I don't know where that is.
No.
I think he also stayed in a few other places as well, but the place he wasn't staying was the Gresham, which is where he wanted to stay.
Right.
Because it's right in the middle of the town. Yeah, it's where all the action is. As much action as you get for a lad who's
1970s Ireland,
from a lad who's from America and like used to seeing the finer things. You just come from Tokyo and doing all these things. You're like, right, keep you out of the city.
Why did they not want to put him in the Gresham?
Because he was getting thronged by. He couldn't walk down the street, and he's a man of the people who.
How would they recognize him?
That's the. So for the first nights, he's there. He calls up Conrad. And goes, where do all the... one thing I read, it said, where are all the coloured folk hanging out around here?
Yeah.
And I saw another term for it was even more offensive than that. But Conrad, he said, where do they all hang out? And Conrad says, there are none. You're the what?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's him and his entourage. And then Blue Lewis. And Blue Lewis would have been... everyone would have known who he was because he would have been like the only black guy on his own.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everyone's like, oh, you're clearly not Ali, you're with the Ali camp.
Yeah.
So you must be the guy, but Ali's fighting this week. So he'd head up to this remote hotel, which is gorgeous grounds. And you see it in that video, the tourism kind of video he does.
Sure.
Yeah, all that greenery. He's up there, which he likes for a couple of days, but then he wants to be down in the action. The Gresham's where everyone's staying, but it's probably for the best because Lewis's camp, there's one guy from that. I think he just has one trainer over with him, Steve Eisner. He said one night he was down drinking with Lewis's manager because he came to him and he said, you should meet some fine Irishmen down at the bar. Come on down here. He goes and chats to a couple of them, some journalists, and then there's one fella who's just getting drunk. He seems like good crack. He says the drunker he gets, the better he gets. And eventually he asks him, just what do you do for a living? He says, I'm the master bomb maker for the IRA.
The drunker he gets, the better he gets.
Yeah. And then he's like, what? And he opens up his jacket, and sure enough, he has a load of sticks of gelignite and some dynamite caps on him, and says, don't worry, lads, they dare not shoot me.
All right.
So right,
fucking hell.
Peter O'Toole was about.
Nice.
Anytime Ali saw him over the space of the week, he'd refer to him as Lawrence.
Lawrence O'Toole? Lawrence of Arabia. Yeah, sure.
John Hewson. the director, is around. And a couple of days before the fight, he actually brings down both Lewis and Ali and a couple of other ones to go see the premiere. He hasn't come out yet. Fat City, the boxing film he made back in the 70s.
Oh, okay.
It's about like the rise and like the really low level boxers. And I think at some point Ali even jumps up and he starts screaming at the thing. He's like, "You're stealing my lines." He's like, it's clearly based it on him. And he's like, right, that's me on screen. That's I know what you've done here. Actually, John Boorman's there, and he says one of the big regrets is that he's like, I should have recorded, should have recorded the reaction, or at least the audio of Ali screaming at the. But I think him and Lewis are they don't really care. They're fighting in a couple of days. They don't care what John Huston has to think about boxing. Sure. And they're both fighting at this big giant stadium, not this lower underground low level thing. But Ulick O'Connor.
Yes,
writer, journalist fella. He has to, at one point. There's a Billy Conn is a former champ and now a writer. He's over doing a bit of writing, promoting the fight. He's talking to some lads at the bar, clearly ratheads, and he's talking about how would you not just? What's the problem with the Protestants? Should I just leave them alone? This whole thing could be figured out. And Ulick has to go over and talk them down from putting them in the back of a car and driving them up the mountains.
See that lad with the Jedi Knight under his jacket? Don't be talking to him. Don't be both siding it.
But Ronald Reagan was also in town.
Talk off.
Yeah, but not for the fight.
What the hell was he there for?
Nixon had sent him over because at this stage he was governor of California.
Yeah,
and he'd sent him over on some kind of press tour around Europe doing bits and pieces. But he was staying at the Gresham as well. But they wouldn't have had much interaction with Ali because Ali fucking hated his guts.
Sure.
Because he would have been pretty central to him getting his boxing license taken away.
Yeah, fair.
Big conservative Republican. He's like, let's go to war. And then there's this black guy who doesn't want to do it. Reagan really uses that as a stick to beat him with. So he hates him. I think it's hard to tell. I think there's some point where Reagan's son does see Ali and he's a big fan of him. And he goes up to him and Ali realizes who he is. And let's just say that doesn't go well.
Fair.
He just starts screaming at him.
Yeah, fuck Reagan.
Yeah. And Bernadette Devlin.
Nice.
Yeah, she does be around as well, but we have to do an episode about her, so we'll talk about that more in just her episode, because this is like 20 pages, and we're already leaving stuff out.
Yeah. So we have to go try and interview her.
But she was a giant Ali fan. She'd seen him fighting when she was over in New York that time, when she gave the keys to the Black Panthers.
Yeah.
She was down at MSG supporting Ali.
So everyone's in town.
Yeah, everyone.
From the IRA to Ronald Reagan. The whole...
Yeah, to Peter O'Toole.
To Peter O'Toole. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Apart from Butty. He's not in the Gresham.
Where is he?
He's man of the people. He's in his own apartment.
He's sleeping on O'Connell Street.
He's on Sean McDermott Street. He's just in an apartment.
Yeah.
He wants his own space. So he's off running around doing interviews, promoting everything, and he just goes back to where everyone can see him. Yeah. And it's also because I think he's like paying a lot of whatever money he's paid up front. There's an awful lot of him like having to cover other bits now because that fee's been paid.
Yeah. So is this the real reason that Ali's not in the Gresham? You'd be better off. You'd like it better outside of the city, outside of the action.
No, it's the management and the trainers and that are like keep him away because he's also
Reagan's upstairs.
Well, Reagan's upstairs, and also keep him outside the city because he's a lunatic.
He's a lunatic.
He's constantly riding all around him. There's reports of Butty. They're saying like people said that he must have been paying for everything out of the till from last night's takings.
Right.
So he's like, someone said that you could smell the Guinness off the drink. Like it was that fresh.
Wait, what? You could smell the Guinness?
Said you could smell the Guinness off the paper notes just because it was clearly just from his cash that he'd just gotten the nights before from different pubs and just using it in one hand out the other, just paying for stuff.
Yeah.
So like he'd be known for obviously his feats of strength.
Yes.
Getting onto newspapers, doing that as well as the McMeany stuff being buried underground. He's great for self-promotion like that.
Yeah.
And getting people into the pubs. But really actually selling tickets is a completely different ballgame.
Yeah.
And especially the ones where you're...
Firstly, it's not even a ballgame. Found that out too late. Gotta scrap all these posters.
But so he's focused on trying to sell tickets for this event, but it's not really working. And the idea is that you're meant to... I think the number is 30,000 tickets to break even.
Okay.
Which, it can hold double that or close to it.
Yeah,
so
but
all you use a half sell.
Surely to God, if you can convince a load of lads to come and stand at what I'm going to guess is an empty patch of ground where man may or may not be buried underneath it, surely you can sell tickets to like
You'd think
a huge fight.
You'd think, but to make sure that they do,
there's nothing else happening in the country.
There's a lot going on. There's the trouble.
Yeah, but it's not as if people are like, I better stay home in case something blows up.
They would have seen Pele a few months before.
Yeah, that'll keep them tided over for the rest of the year.
JFK was there in 63, wasn't he?
That was only a decade ago. People are still living off of that tale.
But so they go on a big press.
I told them not to go to Dallas. I told them.
That was Buddy's last big.
That was Buddy's.
I guarantee you I could knock him from here. I've got the head of JFK in the pub this week. Let's
fucking hell.
We talked about it on the Alison Spittle episode, but you remember the photo of the Gardaí fake arresting him?
Yes.
Yeah, because that's a lot of this is like Ali's idea as well.
Yeah.
He's a constant showman. He knows exactly what's going to sell, what's going to get people talking. So yeah, like that. He does like that. Just that video, that photo.
That photo. I'm sure we talked about it at the time, but go down an awful lot different these days.
Yes. There's a photo shoot that he does for Quinsworth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And he was paid £500
for
doing that, but he ends up donating it to the St. Raphael's School in Selbridge, as it was for mentally handicapped children.
Okay.
It was £500, and I read that the 18 quid was a week's salary for a teacher.
Jesus.
So
right.
yeah, so it's a good chunk of money. We are the champions was the slogan that ran in all the ads. And so the advertising would have been in the paper, it would have been a big giant box of cornflakes for 10p. There's a good old salad cream, 14p, and a 6-pack of Bass for 45p.
This used to be a real fucking country. This used to be a proper fucking place.
And then I had Ali, big photo of him there.
Yeah.
And then the quote would have read, like Muhammad Ali, Quinsworth are the champions.
Yeah.
Our stores are the prettiest. Our value undefeated. Our managers are real pros in the price fight. You meet a lot of contenders for the title of supermarket champions, but we whoop them every time. Conceded? We're not conceded. We're convinced.
I like it.
It was good work.
That is good. Yeah.
Also doing like salad cream.
Yeah.
We'll do cornflakes. And then the real one.
What do we,
Yeah,
a young birdie Ahern jingling around for 45 pence in his pockets. I'm asking to dig out 5 pence a go, lads. We all chip in, I guess.
Next on the list, we would have had Eddie Keher, a famous Kilkenny hurler, gets a call from the PR manager of AIB where he was working. I reckon it was one of the first. It's like, let's get an easy job.
Phone calls ever.
Easy job for the GA star in the bank. He's working in the AIB in Capel Street.
Yeah, fair enough.
So like to get him into there, so he gets called, go do some PR.
Yeah.
He says, go up to Croke Park and meet Ali. Don't forget to bring a hurl and a slitter. Yeah, of course.
Of course, yeah.
So he says he showed him.
Don't forget your shovel if you're going to go to work.
But he said he was going to show him how to. He showed him how to hit the thing, but he was holding it like a tennis racket. He couldn't really get two hands going at all. He said when he saw it a couple of times, he got a little bit better, but he starts like throwing it up with one hand and hitting it. Well, like one-handed hurls,
right? Yeah,
with the other. He tries to rise the ball a couple of times. He doesn't have great luck with that, and they try and knock it back a little bit, but still not great. He does have a lot of success with just putting the ball on the hurl and going for a solo and just kind of knocking it up a couple of times,
right?
Like 4 or 5 times. You're like, oh, and that's a giant reaction from the crowd.
Yeah.
But then it's more of just him standing there in awe of looking at Eddie Keher doing all of these things. Like fecking balls at him. He's jumping up. He's doing all of this. He's knocking him over the bar. It's great.
I saw that other video you sent me of Eddie, decades later, when Jerry Adams has the hurl.
Oh,
yeah. And Eddie's still at whatever, I don't know, 70s, 80s maybe?
Probably, yeah.
Knocks it over the bar.
It still has it.
Tight enough. Yeah. Fair play to him.
But at this stage, it's probably fairly obvious that they've been doing it for a good while, and Ali's not picking it up. It's a tough sport. It's new,
it's an insane sport to sight unseen, handed a hurl.
He does. He's cute enough. He says off camera to one of the lads. He's like, "Oh no, I've seen this on the World of Sport, some show that was in the States." He was like, "Look what these crazy micks are doing over there." So he had he's like, they heard that
Paddy's got a stick and he's beating up. Oh, but it's not what you think.
But he had said, I think it's he would have known that they played a game with the sticks. He wouldn't have really understood what it was, and he wouldn't have ever held one before. But
I'd be surprised. There's people now in America I'd be shocked that they've seen hurling.
Yeah, he said he just saw it on TV. I suppose also that there would have been less channels, so if it was on a station, it was a TV show called World of Sport.
Yeah,
so there's different sports around the world. He's a sportsman, probably watched it.
Fair, makes sense.
When he's kind of done with that, and Ali realizes that we're kind of done with this thing here.
Yeah.
He basically turns to him and goes, "Come on, let's give him a show." And then he starts attacking Eddie with his hurl and starts swinging at him like it's a sword. And, it says Eddie having to. He's like, "Jesus Christ!" I was like, "Block."
Yeah.
I think that lasts for way too long. Someone said half an hour. That can't be true.
No.
But also, who knows? He's like, he's really going for it. And the photos of that are fantastic.
Yeah, so those are the photos we saw in that pub in wherever the hell we were.
Yeah, down
at the folk festival.
Doolin, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's going down a treat.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
He does 2 orgy interviews.
Yeah.
The first one doesn't create as much of a stir. He does get out of the limo at orgy and instantly starts demanding, "Where's Michael O'Hare?" Because he was the guy who's he's going to put a whooping on him. He's the guy who's going to interview him.
Okay.
When he instantly gets out of the car, he says, "Where's Michael O'Hare? I'm going to beat the shit out of this guy."
Yeah.
And he just sits down and do a quick interview with him. Doesn't do like big numbers, not as important as the one we'll come to in a bit.
Yeah.
So the training camp. For one day, Ali spots a light heavyweight, Ray Anderson. He's there he's probably doing a little bit of work with Lewis, but he's also just trying to get on the undercard for the event to box himself.
Yeah.
He is a sparring partner of Joe Frazier.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as Ali cops him at the corner of his eye in the handball alley when he's there, he makes this big giant thing about there's a spy in the camp. Then he starts talking shit about Joe Frazier and saying how he's going to whoop him and all this. Just constant showman, because he goes within a couple of weeks of heading back to the States, he does a fight with Anderson.
Okay.
So he's kind of mates with him.
Right.
But just never a dull moment. If he ever sees an opportunity to just start something, he's like instantly on it.
Yeah.
And that's what they say. And no matter what, if like you always get a story with Ali, whether it's like he's just been personable and nice and sits down and asks you about your life or whatever, or if he's doing this big giant bombastic show, that everyone has a personal moment. Everyone has a memory and a recollection of Ali. Then he goes off and he meets Taoiseach Jack Lynch.
Yes.
And not just on any old day, but like downtime. The second last sitting of the Dáil before the summer break, when they're trying to get a load of things done.
I've got a bit of a treat for you now before we head off for our summer holidays.
Is it answering all the questions? Is it leader's questions?
No. It's 1970s Ireland. Everything's running pretty smoothly.
Unemployment's at basically an all-time high, and people are
for now,
and people are screaming about fluoride in toothpaste.
Yeah,
he's like, never mind that. Look at this
fella.
Yeah. So Lynch tells Ali he's hoping to make it to the fight.
Yeah.
So Ali says, Lynch is a busy man. I'll end the fight quickly so he can get back to work as a great leader of the country.
That's good.
When Lynch says, that'd spoil it, Ali agrees to carry him for a bit. And then Lynch says, sure, I might even get in there for a couple of rounds just to keep the thing going. Keep it interesting.
Okay.
Give the people a bit of value for money. Who wouldn't want to see Jack Lynch fight Muhammad Ali in Croke Park?
To be fair, that would bring in the crowds.
Yeah. But this marked...
Muhammad Ali is a Fine Gael man. Fucking hell.
Well, that's a big part of it. They say he's basically he's constantly cracking the joke when he's there meeting him. He's like, would you like to run for Fianna Fáil? There's an election happening down in Mid Cork, and we think you'd be a great man for it. And at first they said Ali's fairly interested, but he thinks better of it. He's trying to win back that world championship.
Well, now the game will be there after you. A career in politics.
If anything, you'd probably learn better. They're transferable skills.
Transferable skills, yeah.
If you can dodge a question, you can dodge a punch. But this marks the first time that a leader of a Western government had invited Ali to make an official visit. So no matter what countries he'd ever been in, like the UK, in the UK, in I guess Canada, in America, heavyweight champ, people were like, no.
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry.
You'd get in all of the African countries he'd been to, in Pakistan and places like that, he'd been offered to meet the leader of the country. But
African countries like Pakistan.
No, he said any of the African countries and Pakistan and a couple of other places, because again, he would have made the list is about 15 countries long.
Yeah, he does.
I read it. It's wrote down, and it's not a quote from him,
right?
But it makes me think it is a quote that he said, because the way the list goes, he just won't stop naming everyone.
Yeah.
But
so he was invited to meet
Jack
Lynch. But he was invited to meet politicians in these other places, but never in
a Western country.
In a Western country.
Yeah.
Okay.
On a serious note, Ali says to Lynch, what's going on up in the north is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Why can't you talk about this situation with other world leaders? And then Lynch says we do, but it always seems to be falling on deaf ears because a little country like ours can't compete with the import-export of a nation with 60 million people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of countries around the world dependent on the UK.
Yeah.
And Ali says, well, I'll tell you something. If John F. Kennedy was alive today, there wouldn't be one British soldier left on Irish soil. But who knows?
He knows how to play a crowd.
He does.
Yeah.
Many people said that everyone was in agreement when he said that. Everyone's like, big, round of applause. Harold Conrad said that Lynch was actually just there listening to Ali giving out to him for 15 minutes as he smoked his pipe.
Yeah.
He was like, go on, keep going.
What you're saying is we should resurrect Kennedy. Surely he has a brother. What's Bobby up to these? What about that other fella? He's heading out to Chappaquiddick, you say?
But the Lynch has him sign the visitors book.
Yeah.
When he goes into into Leinster House, his quote reads, "The man who has no imagination stands on the earth. He has no wings. He cannot fly. Peace."
Okay.
Nice. However, one person who wouldn't meet Ali was Eamon de Valera.
Oh, Dev, you dirty dog.
Despite being
1,000 years old.
Well, he's been offered it twice now.
Yeah.
So two people go to him and say, it'd be great if you could meet Ali. It'd be good for your image. It'd be good for him. It'd be good out in history.
What does he need? He's dead by 75, I think.
Yeah. Is it 75?
Yeah, I think so.
So, well...
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Dave,
it's
you're going to be running again next year. Yeah. We need to boost your image.
But he would have been a man who loved a photo op. Like, he liked...
Yeah, but I mean, let the man die in peace.
No, but it's not that. It's actually that there's a memo that goes around saying that you shouldn't talk to Ali. Don't go meet him because whatever he's been chatting to Jack Lynch and people like that.
Yeah.
And that they're like, don't give him any airtime or any breath.
Why?
No idea. That they're just like, it's in Irish, so I didn't understand. It was translated, but it still didn't make much sense.
Yeah.
But that they'd said because he's like, don't be meeting with such a braggadocious, bombastic.
It's not the Fianna Fáil way.
I said bombastic earlier. It was like, that's
did.
what it was from this quote. It said it was like in the memo. Someone just said,
Mr. Bombastic.
Yeah.
Mr. Fantastic.
But so he doesn't meet Dev, even though he's been offered multiple times the chance. So they're like, which it would have been cool to see Dev with Ali.
It would have been.
I'm going to read into it more before we do the final episode.
Yeah, why this snub Ali?
But all this promotion, little enough effect on ticket sales. But he resorted. He was doing everything he could. The Lord's work, literally. Yeah. He was gone to a bishop to go tell him, "Could you start promoting this at mass?
Could you just put it out in the pulpit?"
Yeah, you have an awful lot of people, a lot of ears listening to you there of a Sunday.
Yeah.
Could you tell them all that this is for a good cause? It's a charity. Adi the Prophet. I'm not taking anything. It's going all to mentally handicapped children.
Yeah. Is he not getting nothing?
He says he doesn't want the profit. I'm sure he would make something.
If someone wants to throw me a little something back.
Well, see, because he has a bit of he is past some previous with this as well, because he organised some I forget the name of it, but it ends with St. Patrick's Island, that he's some variety show that's for the mentally handicapped children.
Yeah.
And he gets some famous faces on it, most notably David Bowie.
Oh,
the year before, but then people kind of realise after, it's like, wait, where did all that money go? And where did anyone get that?
The Sugru Children for Mentally... Hang a second. This isn't a registered charity.
Sugru, they say by this stage, flat out on the snuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's getting worried now.
Okay.
This is like, it's basically Sunday.
Yeah.
Or like Saturday or Sunday, the fight's on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And they've very, very few seats gone.
What more can you do? He's meeting Jack Lynch.
Yeah.
Is that where they want to Dev in? Is that the only thing that'll shift tickets?
That gets him in. No, we'll see. A lot of people reckon that because you could go and pay a small fee to see him in the handball alley when he was training every day, and he was there like every day. He was going around doing all of these things.
Yeah.
So a lot you could just see him. He wasn't staying at the Gresham, but he'd go down an awful lot, and he'd just walk the streets and he'd meet people. Sure, people
were bored of him.
Everyone had a chance to talk to him, to touch him, to see him train and that, and they were like, don't even need to see him fight.
Okay.
And again, he wouldn't have been as big a star as he would go on to be. Still world famous, still incredibly famous, but not the Ali we'd know today.
Yeah.
So Sugru's he's worried now. So he's just big on the snuff.
Right.
They said his nerves are really getting to him.
Yeah. But what do you mean by snuff now? What do you mean? Tobacco or like?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like it's tobacco and eucalyptus.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, you get a little bit of head rush.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's more tobacco based. But they say he's just non-stop at that.
Okay.
And this is when he's just paying people, because every time people just keep coming to him, being like, we need more money for this and this, and he's like, no tickets been sold. I've already paid all that money up front.
Yeah.
The organisation, I mean, it will actually might as well jump into it now. It's as bad as like one of the days Ali no one shows up to bring him to Croke Park to train.
Okay.
He's meant to have a chauffeur, and he's a chauffeur, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's
a fella driving.
Yeah, a driver. But instead, Steve Brennan of the Sunday Indo, journalist, like hop in the car and he drives him down. Which would have been fantastic to interview.
A great opportunity, yeah.
This is now the Sunday before the fight on the Wednesday.
Right. Midweek fight seems odd.
Yeah, but he's in and out, and you'd probably be competing with the GA at the weekend.
Oh, that's fair enough.
It's 3,000 tickets. have been
Three.
Three.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
They'd been sold. Now, mainly, though, they were the expensive tickets that were all ringside. So they were going at £15 a pop.
Right, okay.
So then you're up to 45,000. And but the seats in the stands, they were going for like £1, £2, and it was progressively going up.
Yeah.
A lot of seats in Croke Park, that's a lot of cheap seats. You get a lot of people in there, you'd be grand. But there was a report going around that some journalist goes up to Harold Conrad and says, I heard it's sold out. And he's like, "What? You don't be selling."
Don't even bother checking for tickets.
I wouldn't even bother.
Yeah.
No, he's like, definitely not.
Yeah.
And it's not only is it not sold out, it's like.
But you posted on Instagram a week ago saying only 10 tickets left.
Yeah.
Hang on a moment.
The 75% is technically a sellout.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
There's a report going around saying that it's sold out. They're like, no, not only is it not sold out, you can, like the GAA, walk up on the day and get your ticket at the turnstile.
Yeah.
Come on in. Don't let that stop you.
Yeah.
Which is also tough to say, like, no, you can't I can't go out and say it's selling terribly. We need everyone to go.
Yeah.
Thread the line.
Oh, I know the game. Yeah. Don't worry about that.
It's going to be good. It is actually going to be class. It's just, but we do need more tickets. Some more.
We desperately need people to go, but it will be class.
Yeah.
We have a gig in Kilkenny coming up in 2 weeks.
Which is actually selling pretty well.
There's actually only a few tickets left.
Yeah, it's selling class.
Yeah.
It could be selling unreal.
It could be unreal, yeah. If anyone tells you it's sold out, you send them my way.
But they've got one last chance.
Yeah.
I think this is probably the Monday, maybe before the Wednesday. This is the second RTE interview.
Right.
With Cathal Shanahan. Is it O'Shanahan?
Yeah, O'Shanahan, yes.
He said he went over to London to meet Parkinson.
Yeah.
Michael Parkinson. Because Ali had sat down with him the year before. He wanted to pick his brain about how to interview the man.
Yeah.
And he found out that the BBC had paid him 14,000. He said he was actually lovely to deal with.
Yeah.
Ask him what you want. He'll just ramble. He'll chat. It's going to be grand. On the other hand, RTE had bargained him down. A little bit of that classic Irish negotiation, RTE style. They'd said, how about £100?
100. Well, you're not Ryan Tubridy now.
Yeah,
no harm to you.
14,000 sounds great. I'd look Ali. I'd love 14,000.
We don't love 14,000. How about 100?
We have 100, and technically we actually don't have it because they didn't realise that it needed to be paid on the night. They wanted it in cash.
Oh, you want that now?
Yeah,
well,
£100. So they
didn't have £100 handy just to give it to him.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
So they have to run around and ask all the employees.
Jesus.
They have to go through like the tills of the canteen. They have to get through like all of that, just coins.
The smell of Guinness off the coins, you could tell.
And so they give him that. So Ali says he's not in the best. They say he's not in the best mood. He arrives and he's saying that he's
bag of loose change.
And he said, "I fucking hate this place." And Shanahan's like, "Oh great, I'm going to interview him now." And interview for about over an hour.
Yeah.
Whatever it's cut down to. But I think it ends up being like an hour or so.
50, so I think,
I think that some of that might be cut. It's hard to know. Or did it just go live? But that's like 20 minutes, he says this, before they go on to do the live interview.
Yeah.
And he's like, I fucking hate this place. And he's like, oh, this is going to be great.
Nice.
So they managed to scrounge the money together. They throw it into him. The makeup artist is having an awful tough time because she says it's the first time that she's ever had to put makeup on someone who wasn't white.
Yeah,
they were like,
like the palest pale whites.
Yeah, they were like, they have nothing there for that. They have a million different shades of makeup for the white pink skin.
Yeah.
But they've never had an Asian person on. Yeah, they've never had a black person.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so it's
sorry.
It kind of does make sense. It's Ireland at the time, but yeah. So I think he even says that he catches she's really nervous and he's like, she's worried a little piece of powder is going to hurt me. I'm about to fight Al Blue Lewis.
Yeah.
Which wasn't why she was worried. She didn't know what the heck was going on. But Shanahan was the man chosen for the interview. He went to the hotel to agree to see if he could get Ali to agree to it.
Yeah.
And then, but obviously the management were like, you kind of need to go because you need to shift some tickets here. In the midst of this, when he goes to the hotel, Ali's Maz, after walking in with Ali's son, she's kicking off big style.
So Ali's mother?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's trying to kick a load of people out of the hotel. She's not happy at all.
Yeah.
Shanahan says, quote, "It seemed to me that every whore in Ireland had turned up there, including these black whores from Manchester and London. Ali's mother showed up with his son and screamed, 'Get rid of all these bitches.'" in the midst of all of that, I think he just goes like, Ali, do you want to do this interview? He's like, yeah, whatever.
Get me out of here.
Yeah, go on. But so yeah, that's how they get him. That's all going on. He is
nice.
It's funny that he was going to fight Wilt Chamberlain, who was one of the first men to ever claim to sleep with over 1,000 women.
Yes.
And Ali, probably not too far off the same.
No.
O'Shanahan said that Ali...
Well, I sent you that bit about Shanahan. I don't know if this is relevant. Yeah.
He's another one. It takes one to know one. Yeah, that turns out...
I was reading through...
he's the bad one. He's the straight burn.
Yeah. I was reading through Ali's stuff, and women will talk about his womanizing later on, and some of the ages involved. But after reading that, and then I read Carl O'Shannon's Wikipedia, and then the personal life stuff is like he was married to his wife 50 years. She deceased only 2 years before him. I was like, there you go, an old-fashioned Irish marriage. And right underneath that, I was like, in 2008, he admitted to flat out cheating on her in an ordeal. So after she's dead, he's like, oh, I was riding around the clock. You couldn't stop me.
At least he didn't say it when she was alive.
We said it on national TV when she was dead. Carl, you dirty dog.
Oh, he was, yeah.
Yeah, he was, yeah. Well, anyway, the two boys had something to talk about.
But
that's how he recognised every whore in the country.
How much are you paid her? Because I gave her...
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've seen the interview. I sent it on to you. I didn't want to show you any of the other parts of ruin the story.
Yeah.
How good is that interview?
It's so good.
And granted, it is a lot of like O'Shanahan asking Ali a question, and Ali will ramble and just give like phenomenal answers.
Yeah.
But he sticks in the pocket. It's good because there's plenty of times where Ali gets riled up and starts saying things to him.
Yeah. It was fascinating, even just culturally at the time. Again, because I didn't know that Ali was so into the Nation of Islam at that stage.
Yeah, such a political, a leader of people.
Yeah, it's very political. It's also very weird watching it, because you're kind of tuned in now, where you basically you think you know where there's going to be applause breaks. Ali will go on like a big rant about like the black man's place in America and all this sort of like really powerful stuff, and then he finishes up and there's nothing. It's just silence, and then a minute later you'll hear like a round of applause or a laugh or something else. Like, oh, there are people there.
Yeah,
it's just very strange. It's very worth the watch because it's just interesting to see what they're able to say.
Long form interviews are great, but it's just like the height of you're talking about the level of fame. Like for someone to be, instead of, you see so many athletes just not willing to rock the boat. You see you see like Stormzy like taking the McDonald's money and pulling down all of his Palestine posts because someone offered him some money, and you go like, no, I'm actually going to jeopardize my chance of winning the belt. Have Malcolm X come down to this fight.
Yeah.
Just go over and talk. Also, I suppose it's a different time where you can, because he does say it at one point in the interview where he's talking about, it's like, I like to rile people up. I talk about the black man, and then people who want to come down, they want to see the black guy lose. All the white guys get angry. I go back to America, I'm not going to say that.
Yeah,
and he's like, the news wouldn't have travelled like that. They wouldn't have access to the tape. It's just on RT. So he was just so candid and open. He's like, this isn't going to go anywhere.
I think that's what it is. It just seems like such a bizarrely candid interview. It's just 50 minutes of like race, and it feels well out of the room. At some point, he's like, they're talking about religious war, and it's like, in the faith of Islam, it's very anti-war. That's why you didn't go to Vietnam. But if there was a race war in those conditions, and you're like, how? This is just all broadcast, no notes. It feels like neither of them. Obviously, for O'Shanahan, it's a great interview, but it feels like Ali has like no media training. But it probably was that he was like, the fuck, who's going to see this? The 3,000 people who are going to this match on Wednesday.
I'm getting paid £100 for this.
Yeah, I'll go off. But he talks about, there's one. He has a great story where I don't know if this is right, but in 1960 he boxed for America in the Olympics.
Yes,
he won the gold.
Won his Olympic gold.
And he went back to his hometown, and it was still under segregation as people protesting. And he goes into a white-only restaurant.
Best lines.
Great line. He walks into a white-only restaurant, he sits down and asks for a cheeseburger. The woman comes up and says, "We don't serve Negroes here." And he says, "I don't eat them. Just give me the cheeseburger." It's great.
Yeah.
You can tell he's told that story 100 times, but God, it's great. And he's, I don't know, he's just having a lot of fun with it.
And when you're going to see him switch, it's like, he ebbs and flows with it, that there's points where he's pretty solemn and he's talking about like the Nation of Islam and different things, and wanting like segregation of like, we want a couple of states just to ourselves, and the black people should be over there on their own and away from everyone else. He has that line about like, I know there's some good white people out there, but imagine they're rattlesnakes. Imagine there's 10,000 rattlesnakes coming at you and 1,000 rattlesnakes. You're like, I'm married to a black guy. I think they're good.
Yeah.
He's like, if I let them all in, I'm going to hope that 1,000 of them save me against the other ones. He's like, I can't trust any of you.
And he's a really powerful thing where he's on about he says Malcolm X has said the white man is the devil. He's like worse than the devil. And he cooks in really intricate detail about what like white men had done to black people in his hometown. That's when I realized he could have done a wee bit more research than the old. If he had just, because Colin's kind of pushed him on it, and he's like, "Oh, white men." What if he just had been like, "It's like the British." It's like, say no more. Say no more.
Yeah.
Ali,
well,
I get it.
He does say that then because he pushes him and he's like, how about this guy and that guy? He's like, he's Italian. He's like, He goes like, no. What I mean
he's Jewish, he's Italian.
I mean the white American men.
Sure, yeah.
Devil.
But when he's talking about the atrocities.
If he had just said the British, that's when you would have known everyone was in that audience. It would have just been like, Ukraine.
But it's
stadium sold out instantly.
Yeah. But when you're not saying, because when people are saying, fuck the Brits, they're not saying every British person. But the same stuff he's talking about, the atrocities, for there's a commonality there. There's a funny bit where he's talking about that also felt bizarre to see in an interview where Cahill says Negroes, and then he's like, "Oh, we say blacks now," and he kind of like pushes him back at it a little bit.
A couple of minutes later, he says Negro by accident again, and then he's like, "Oh, no, black."
But he's like, "You sure now? What's the difference?" But then,
sure, is it not the same?
It's just not the same thing. It's like, Jesus, come on, no. But then he goes on he does one of his famous long lists of where he's like, all these other countries, Irish people, it's based on Ireland, Japanese, Australia. Does about 10 more countries.
Yeah, it's literally any country you can think of.
He's like, there's no country called Negro. He's like, well, there's no country called black either. And also there is one that's derived from Negro, but I wouldn't be the one to be sitting in front of him and be like, well, hang on now.
But fair play, I was going to say fair play to O'Shanahan for pushing him back, but it is that he's not just going to sit there.
I wouldn't say fair play to him.
No,
that's a weird one.
But like the idea that
it's not all the same thing, Ali.
But he pushes them on things and just like, because he's learning, I guess, as well.
Yeah, it's a very good interview.
Yeah. Because you get to see, because you'd think that Ali would flip the lid over that, but he manages to just do that. He gives him that response. He's like, okay, fair enough. And then he doesn't flip out on him when he says Negro again later on. He quickly corrects it.
Cracks him, and then when he's like, Carl's like, oh, I understand. He's like, oh, you're not as dumb as you look. That's a fun. Like he's doing a lot of that. It's like, I know how
many boxers would be able to sit down and talk to smart men like yourself? And then he calls them dumb a few minutes later.
Great men like you're Mr. Lynch. Yeah, it's a great interview. It's very I don't know. It's a fascinating time capsule of
talking about how he's like, I could sit down here and make you all laugh. How many entertainers be able to do that? That's their job.
That's a comedian's job. I mean, who could do that? It's like, well,
that's a
fair enough. That's a fair enough point. It's a very, very good interview. But he does a bit of poetry in there as well.
He does. About the riots or the
was it Attica's prison?
Yeah, the
Attica prison. Yeah.
And he wrote his own poem about it.
Yeah,
which is because a lot of his other poems that he'll do are based around fighting, and the real basic like A-B rhyme structure just say the same thing. Yeah, and it's this is really good. The thing that stands out the most is when O'Shanahan brings up the idea, because Ali's going on about Nation of Islam and black people, and then O'Shanahan's like, this is my chance.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you got some white blood in you.
Oh,
Muhammad.
Yeah.
Oh, you can see he gets very riled up. Rock Brenner, Yul Brenner's son, had known this, and he kind of told everyone coming over that he was like, he does have some white blood in him. You'd want to be very careful about how you bring that up, how you phrase that. Because he doesn't like that.
No.
And then that's where you can see him get angry, but then he's like, I'm angry, but I'll still play it like a joke. He says, well, what had happened back then was, an old slave master's wife would have been tired, and so he wants some. He doesn't really say sex, but he alludes to it very heavily. He says he'd go into the
that's when I remembered it was the 1970s, because I think that's the only part where they started like, and we'll move along from that because you can't mention sex.
Well, let's see. It's weird that they're like, you can't mention sex, but he's talking about sexual assault.
Oh yeah, he's like they're dancing around the fight.
You can tell that they're really going like, sex is whatever. Forget about the rest of the sentence. Sex alone is going to be.
In the space of a couple of minutes, they're talking about like the white man in America is the devil. They're talking about like race wars, they're talking about Nation Islam, and then he starts like, to be fair, very softly alluding to. Well, he's talking about like that the slave masters, who presumably were part Irish then, would have raped one of his ancestors down the line, and that's where he gets the Irish DNA.
Exactly.
But they very softly allude to that, and that's the point where they're like, and it's time for a moment for our sponsors, cornflakes, 45 pint for a 6-pack of Bass, would you believe?
Why is there 2 Bass left in Bertie's?
But that's very interesting, because I think specifically he says when he's talking about his name again, he's talking about like white people have names like O'Grady. I think he specifically says O'Grady. He
says Grady. And a little sidebar. Abe Grady was born in Ennis, County Clare, a little place called Turnpike. He was the son of a plasterer. He left for America 1860s, saving up the money to hop on a cotton boat to New Orleans. They go from New Orleans to Liverpool. It'd stop up at Kappa Pier down in Clare. So once they drop off all the cotton, and they'd probably pick up some other goods on the way back, they'd have space for people to travel. So some people would get from Clare. That was a big leaving point from down there.
Well, 1860, a lot of people getting out of Dodge.
So Abe makes it to New Orleans, kept going down the river until he found his way to Kentucky, where he married and emancipated a free slave.
Yeah.
And the couple would have a son named after Abe's dad, John. So John Lee Grady would grow up to marry Birdie Moorhead, another African-American, and have 2 kids, Abe Jr. and Odessa Lee. Odessa Lee would grow up to marry local sign painter in Louisville, Kentucky. The pair would have a son named after the father called Cassius Marcellus Clay.
So
he's Irish.
Yeah.
His great-grandfather is from Clare.
And not through sexual assault or plantations, but through a good old boy hopping the cotton boat from Clare.
And he would have known that. And that's why it's obviously in his head where he says names like Grady, and he doesn't know his family history.
No,
a little bit to that point. That is because he does use his
name. Yeah. Oh, I didn't. Okay. That's not so bad.
No,
that's great.
So he doesn't let that be known. But he's he would have known this at the time because it's it's not that far that long ago.
And I always found this interesting. Again, obviously why he did it, but it's just whatever irony. And maybe it's overplayed because it's him, but Muhammad Ali, he changed his name from Cassius Marcellus Clay, which is the name that his dad had.
Which is, who Cassius Marcellus?
Yeah, one of the few
good
southern, massive abolitionists. And it was either his dad or his granddad was named after him on purpose because he was one of the few white men that was actually pushing for abolition of slavery in the South.
Yeah.
You gotta change your name is a big statement. He talks about that in the interview and it makes a lot of sense. But it's just funny that it's the one white guy at the time who was trying to
actually
something
good.
Yeah.
So he actually would have, they say he was all set to be vice president under Lincoln, but that he pushed Lincoln too hard on slavery. That's Lincoln gets a lot.
What about your slaves, Lincoln? It's all right, get out of here.
Yeah, that Lincoln gets a lot of props for the whole slave thing, but there's actually a lot of other people who were really pushing that, and he was just the face of it.
Sure.
So Cassius Marcellus Clay would have been. So it's both Muhammad's name and his dad's name. So that's
completely irrelevant. But the guy who paints the dogs playing poker. His name's Cassius Marcellus Coolidge. That's the best name. His nickname was Cash. Because those dog playing poker paintings are so corny.
Oh, they're
the guy's name. They're good, but it's such a whatever. And his name's fucking Cassius Marcellus Coolidge. Cash for short. I don't know. Anyway.
But a little tidbit, don't know if we'll put it in the episode or not. In Kentucky, post-Civil War, they said that the Irish were called white Negroes.
Yeah.
And that black people were called the smoked Irish.
Yeah.
Which I'd never heard. But
this literally only came up the other day because I was saying that to Cadden that the original Wiggers was a phrase for Irish people.
Really?
We sent that into the group chat.
God, no, I missed that.
Yeah, and that was the first time I'd heard smoked Irish as
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did forget to mention, because we won't have too much time for him. I went to a short story on him eventually. Paddy Monaghan was a bare knuckle boxer from Fermanagh.
There you
go. Who was living in England and was basically the head of...
That's confusing. Yeah. And you're from where?
Wait,
won't do this again. Paddy Fermanagh.
He was basically the head of the Ali fan club.
Right.
And got a petition going back then, 22,000 people or more, to try and get it into the, what's that called when you get it's enough signatures that it has to be talked about in the House of Commons.
Yeah. Sign a petition. Funny, you got 22,000 tickets sold.
Also, dyslexic, couldn't read. Would have had to get other people reading them. All the reports of Ali, he loved them.
Okay.
But he would have learned how to read by reading articles about Ali, because he was like, I can't, that hasn't a bit of it'll take the piss out of me. They even say hey, look, there's a story about Ali, and he didn't know he'd have to take the paper, bring it home, get his mate to read it to him.
Okay.
He even got the some sort of form of another, I think, petition on Nixon's desk saying like, you gotta reinstate him. You gotta
let him fight.
Yeah. So it's he's his hero. He loves him.
Sure. Well, do you know offhand like what years it would have been? He was, because it's like the prime.
To 70.
Oh yeah, but like what age would he have been?
27 to 30.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's proper. The actual prime.
Yeah.
Ali, when he tells the manager when he's over, I think the year before, when he's over doing the Ovaltine tour, that he's like, look at all this stuff, and because I'm doing all of this, people know me. They're after sending me a load of mail for him. Do you want all this mail? And they're like, what is it? There's like just thousands of letters addressed to Ali. He's like, what have you been doing? He's like, it's basically kind of like a fan club thing. This is really, I think he's the best. I really think this is a swell guy.
That's mad.
So they're like, so Ali finds out, flies him over to New York, spends time with him there, shows him everything around America. He's like, you keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah.
And when he finds out that he's fighting in Ireland, Ali calls him up and says, you come over, you're going to corner me. You're going to be one of my cornermen.
Okay.
It's going to be an amazing experience for you. Despite him not having a pro boxing license to corner.
Well, he's got a bare knuckle corner license.
Well, it turns out that a lot of people don't like that because it's completely illegal at this stage. I mean, that was illegal by the time. It was illegal when John L. Sullivan was doing it.
Yeah,
it's been outlawed. They've had boxing now for a long, long time.
Sure.
So they really don't like bare knuckle at this stage. Isn't like the world champion bare knuckle man. This is more of like just lads poking the head off each other.
Right.
So that is an issue, bone of contention, that the Irish like boxing board of control or whatever.
They don't want to.
They're like, you can't have a bare knuckle, not even like a bare knuckle champion, just some lad,
some guy.
And no one knows him. So
with a made up name.
Yeah. So
Paddy Monaghan.
But at one point, Ali is like, he claims he's like, no. If Paddy's not allowed in, I'm not fighting. And this is only a couple of days before the fight. It's all organized. Right? No. Not happening.
Yeah.
So they come through, and all of a sudden they get a letter saying, Paddy Monaghan, a one night only boxing license. They specifically say, they're like, you can do that, but the second that fight is over, you're unlicensed again. Right?
Amazing.
Yeah. So he gets to go in for that fight. Monaghan brought Ali on a trip one early morning around Dublin. So he could tell him the history of Ireland and the city. He brings him down to the GPO, shows him the bullets that are still like lodged into the pillar on the right side. Ali said, all that killing was bad.
Yeah.
Yes, it was, Ali.
Yes, it was.
He brought him to Croke Park as well, because Ali wanted to see what it was like before he went in there for the first time. This was all done. I think the tour starts at like 5 a.m. They're doing it super early because he'll just be thronged with people. Otherwise, you have to get it all done then. But it's like every training would have been packed. He couldn't walk down the street and that. But Blue Lewis, again, having a very different time in Ireland.
Yeah.
They said like Ali's room, 45 quid a night. Lewis's was 6.
Okay.
Ali was getting like 200 and 250,000, whatever. Lewis was getting 35, which is still huge money.
Mad money.
Yeah, like set him up for life. He's from Detroit.
Yeah.
He's been to prison. He's come back out. He's gone straight into boxing. He's still living in Detroit. He's concrete jungle. He's never really been out to the countryside.
Sure.
And so he says, I was out in the country and I saw these cows. These were some big old cows. Cows the size of horses, man. I walked across the sea to check whether it was even a cow. But it was.
Yeah.
It was eating grass and all.
Yeah.
That big tall cow with big titties on it and everything. It was very different from old Detroit.
Where there was horses.
Yeah.
He'd seen a horse, I guess.
But
is that really a fucking cow?
Horsepower.
Yeah. Is that a horse in disguise?
Yes, Ali was being driven around by a chauffeur.
Yes.
Blue Lewis was getting lifts in the back of a Volkswagen van that was being drove by one of Buddy's friends who owned a newsagent.
Fucking hell. I love Buddy.
He's great. He's like, I'll look after you, don't worry.
Yeah.
So leading into the fight, Ali has a cold.
Right.
That they say it's debated how bad it was. Some say it's shocking. Some say it's very mild. But
he is, we were saying this, he's sniffling.
All through the interview.
The interview.
He's kind of at his nose and that. And you're like, it's pretty bad. But they're confident enough because they say that, well, if they know Blue Lewis isn't at 100%. It's very short notice. He's also flown all the way across the world.
Yeah.
His training's been like all messed up, been delayed by Ali. He's not getting the best of everything. That they're like, if he was at 100%, maybe they wouldn't do the fight. But Ali's fairly confident, so it goes ahead. There's an account of the day of the fight, or it's the night before. I think it's the day of the fight. There's an account of a bunch of skinheads, racists,
Racists?
yeah,
in this country,
showing up to the Gresham Hotel.
Yeah.
to try and
the wrong hotel.
To try and find out, because on the day of the fight he's there to head over to Croke Park because it's closer, or they hear that anyway, that he's meant to be there.
Yeah,
and so have like 1,000 other people, so they're all hanging around. The skinheads come down and they're demanding Ali come out because they want to fight him.
Fucking hell.
And between the security and the 1,000 fans, they're all told where to go.
Yeah.
Just like, get the fuck out of here. And but the Independent reported that one of the men returned later on that day demanding that he had the right as an Irish citizen to be let into that hotel.
I love it. Yeah.
They were onto it back then.
They were,
It was...
Yeah.
We've had over 50 years of people saying, as an Irish citizen...
You can't be telling me where I can and can't go as a citizen.
As a private hotel. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
But on the day of the fight, the promotional team... I have the right as an Irish citizen to not register to vote and to vote for Jerry Hutch. On the day of the fight...
Well, no, that's your fault for the mainstream media. Lads were tricked into voting for Jerry Hutch to deny Malachy Stenson is true. It was a psyop, man. You're so fucking behind the times. You think you're ahead.
On the day of the fight, the promotional team meet at the Gresham Hotel in Dublin to go over a few last-minute bits. And I think they say it's the day of the fight. It might have been the day before. It's hard to... I think it could be the day. The story's better if it is the day, because as they were leaving... they're getting through everything, minutes of the meetings, everything's done, dot a few I's, cross a couple of T's. Someone just goes, right, who's got the gloves?
Yeah.
And it's around that time that they realise no one's had any foresight into getting gloves for the
lads.
fight.
They would be used to organising the GA matches. Take care of themselves.
Yeah,
back then, there was no
wrestling fights. You don't need gloves. Don't worry about that.
People say that the helmets was the ruination of hurling, and people didn't wear it back then because they were more hardy. They didn't need the helmets. It's just because lads couldn't be arsed organising getting the helmets. They already had to get a load of hurls there. That was enough fucking hardship.
So they
gloves
for some reason. There's no...
Paddy Monaghan was like, "What the? You can put gloves on." The fuck?
I'm not cornering this
Whoa,
nonsense.
Hey!
Yeah. They
maybe you get a fucking 8-year-old child to come down here and corner this little girl's tea party.
But they don't. They've forgotten to source any, so they have to. For some reason, because surely there's like a boxing club in Dublin or around Ireland. I don't know why. They have to call up some lad in London. And you're like, go and
the morning of the fight.
That's why I think it might have been the day before.
Right.
But it's also because it's in the evening time. Maybe you would have time to fly over.
Maybe.
So they called some lad in London. It says the day of the fight and told him, go and get a bunch of pairs of gloves and just throw them on your back and get the next
At least 3 sets.
Yeah. Small, medium, large.
Yeah. One of each.
The lad somehow makes it in time. And he comes over with all the gloves on his back, but he nearly wasn't allowed into the stadium because the security were like, wait, what's the story? Not a fucking chance, that. Do better next time, right? Come up with something a bit plausible.
Sew it up and load. What are you telling me? That they're about to start this fight in there and they haven't a pair of boxing gloves? Fuck, tell it, walking pal, come on.
Because, there's a couple of great stories about the gloves then, because you think once they're there, that's it, sorted.
Yeah.
But no, the undercard,
they all need gloves.
Oh, everyone.
Bloody hell. Better go back to London.
I said small, medium, large. So the undercard is about to begin. So one story. There's a fella. There's an official who he has one. He's his left glove is on. Yeah, and he comes over with another left glove and keeps trying to put it on him. And he's like, it's a right hand. He's like, shut up. Yeah. And he keeps trying to put it on. And the manager sees the funny side. The fella doesn't.
Yeah.
Because he's one of the boxing officials. And he just wouldn't listen to him as he's like, it's my fucking right hand. But they managed to fix that out anyway. Same official.
Yeah.
For another fight, comes down and messes up, and instead of giving a boxer, so like the heavier weight classes, like heavyweight would usually use a 10-ounce spare.
Yeah.
Some of the smaller ones, it can go down to like 8. 6 ounces are nothing.
Yeah.
Like UFC gloves are 4, which are just like basically, it's a tiny bit of padding.
Yeah.
He gives this boxer a pair of 6-ounce gloves.
Right.
And the boxer, cute enough, is like, class.
Yeah.
And he's like, he said he has small enough hands anyway, so him and his team squeeze him in.
Yeah.
And he gets a pretty quick knockout.
Sure.
Just by like knuckle on chin.
Yeah.
So he gets that. There's another bout that's about to, that nearly just starts with the fighter only having one glove, because they're saying to the official, give us the gloves because Ali's going to be out in a minute and everyone's going to swarm and we won't be able to get it. And the official's like, no, I'll give you the glove in a minute. And then so he's all the way down in the ring just with one hand, just waiting to fight. The press row collapses And he's one of the very hastily built, and leaves one journalist in a bloody heap.
Yep.
Bob Arum, who you wouldn't know, but is one of the legends of the boxing game, still promoting today, still unbelievable. He's a co-commentator,
right?
In it's now he's 80 something, still going. But some of the other disorganization, a good chunk of the undercard fights, yeah, sure, rounds are meant to be 3 minutes. That's only if someone's paying attention.
Yeah,
you have a timekeeper. Plenty of those fights are going 4-minute rounds. No one's really checking. They're just, no one cares.
It's the same as GAA rules. We blow the whistle at 7 here. Let lads play. Let them cook.
The ring also, when they were going to build a new one, or whatever firm, they got one brought in. Ali hated it, so they ended up using the
training
boxing ring. Yeah, that's the only one.
Yeah.
But one of the big stipulations was it was going to be like a 24-foot ring. Because you see the fight, it's very small.
Yeah.
Very, very small.
Can you see this? The footage of the fight?
It's all footage. And they've colored it as well. It's great. The ring that they actually get is going to be 16 foot. And he's like, no, that is small. 18, get the other one. At least that's 18. But it's meant to be between 24, and maybe they get to 22. They end up using an 18.
Right.
That's not the only oversight as well, that as much as it got into the promotion of the fight and looking after Ali, they hadn't really
The Galway hurling team still shows up at 7 o'clock.
No, see, they hadn't planned on a lot.
We always fight in the Hill 16 side. You'll have to move.
Well, before we get to Hill 16, we'll talk about the money from the fight programs. But it's a great way to make money.
Yeah.
Also, a good chunk of the fighters aren't even on the programs. They have maybe might even have lads who aren't even there on them. Doesn't matter. Ali's on it, and that's going to make money. People are always going to want to remember going to so good. Like most people are buying these, they're a couple of shillings or whatever.
Sure.
It's pretty equivalent to a couple of euro.
There's a memento.
Oh, there's a load of lads walking around selling all of this. But he sends down a fella to go around and collect all the money. So every so often he's running around to these people saying, "Buddies, after sending me down, give me the cash there now." So just so you don't have to carry it all at the same time. So every so often they'd go to a room with him and drop the money and that, and then they go back out, get more programs, keep selling.
Yeah.
And it comes down to the end of to later on that evening and after the fight, and Buddy calls all the boys in and says, "Right lads, where's the money?" And they're like, "Should we give it to your man?" And he goes, "What man?" This is the man who you sent down. "I didn't send anyone down." "Where's the money?"
Oh, buddy.
Some just absolute con.
I'm starting to believe that he did get that Nelson's head robbed off him.
So
where's the head? I give it to the fella.
So not only has he lost all the money for the programs, now he's out of pocket for having printed them all and paid.
Fucking hell.
There's a story of one of the boxing officials who goes in to tell Ali to get ready, or he has to get, "You're up next," or it's going to be something like that, and he just keeps saying, "What's that, Dad?" So I imagine he's like "Daddy" or whatever. He doesn't really understand what the Cork lad is saying.
Yeah,
and
sure.
And it's seemingly a pretty small lad.
Yeah.
He just starts dancing around him and just kind of starts singing and talking or whatever.
Yeah.
And they say your man gets so annoyed that they're like, "Oh shit, separate this now." That small.
They're trying to break up the official and Ali.
Yeah, that Cork man is going to go for him. Which is a beautiful sight. He just gets so annoyed.
Yeah.
But then there's another.
Did you call me boy?
Yeah. Now, actually, so I think he's Cork. I just to hedge the bets, possibly Dublin. I think he was Cork though. And so on to the fight itself. So as they're all walking out, quick problem. Someone gets it wrong that they're meant to do the Stars and Strangle, the American national anthem.
Stars and Strangle banners. Oh, very political.
What they're meant to do is that song first.
Yeah.
Then they're going to do
Ireland's
the
Call.
Irish national, Irish Call, and then they're going to do our Naveen.
Yeah.
It starts playing. Somehow someone's gotten it wrong because they're like, "Hold on, stop. We're not ready for that, actually." And they have to stop it, rewind the tape, and start it from the very beginning all over again.
Okay.
And then enter the ring. The men of the hour, most important boys. Roddy Drew, Luke Kelly, and the rest of the Dubliners.
Oh.
They're coming in to play Aron Naveen.
Yes.
So they come in,
yes.
they start playing Aron Naveen.
Yeah.
I should say 11,000 people have showed up with tickets.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, 30,000 was the break-even point.
Yeah. Buddy's already lost all of the fucking preview money.
Yeah.
Or he's also the program money. Now the Dubliners should shut up. The lads who definitely stole Nelson's head.
Yeah.
they had it on stage the night before.
And they're not doing this for free.
They're no.
Yeah. They want to be paid in the cash that smells like Guinness.
Yeah. That's what extra. So Buddy's just hemorrhaging money.
Yeah.
Right.
11,000 people, it's a small number.
Yeah.
But they're going up against There might be a GA match on that weekend. Who knows?
Sure, it's a Wednesday.
A lot of people have worked the next day. So
in the 70s? Come on.
There's, I suppose the unemployment's rampant, but a
lot of people have emigration the next day.
But a lot of people have gone. They've seen him spar and train. They've chatted to him. They might have had a pint with him. They might have had sex with him.
Sure. What are you going to pay a shilling to go to watch him fight?
They've got their money's worth. It's actually, I think the cheapest ticket is like £1 or £2. So it's a little. It is a bit of money back then.
Yeah, fair enough.
They didn't feel the need to watch him fight. And now a part of it is also that the 19th of the July, that's the hottest day the country had seen in nearly a decade. And as is normal in Ireland, as soon as the sun comes out.
Oh, yeah. You're not going inside for love nor money, even though Croke Park is outside. You could go outside for love nor money.
You should go to Croke Park to watch Ali.
On a summer's night. No, thank you. I'll be out drinking on the side of a ditch.
So the famous faces are coming in the ring. Dubliners, walking all the boys out. The Dubliners start doing the anthem, and it's a beautiful moment. It's Ronnie Drew, it's Luke Kelly, it's Ali, it's Croke Park, it's Aran Naveen. The only thing is, Aran Naveen is the cue for over 7,000 non-musical Dubliners to bum rush Hill 16 from the outside.
Yes.
And so as soon as the national anthem starts, you can see
that's their cue to start hopping over.
And they all run over. They're not content with just staying in Hill 16 in the standing seats. They all jump over and they start running down ringside. And because of that, anyone else who had bought standing tickets in the stand, they all just run down on the field as well.
That's amazing.
So now there's about like 18,000 people.
Yeah,
is the closest estimate they can get. 19,000 people,
which is still bad.
Are just all around the field. And so anyone who's paid the £15, get out of the way. You're sitting beside me now. So you can hear through the tannoy it's a good chunk of, and this is going to be a hotkey from now on for the podcast. Security and stewards to Hill 16. It's
good luck.
The Hill 16 is directly behind the main angle of the fight.
Right.
So we get it up here. Ali Lewis. It's the whole fight. There we go. So you can start to see right there, Hill 16 behind that group of people that should be an empty stand.
Yeah.
Everyone's just running in. So it's on the broadcast. It's the main angle, so you just see the entire thing. Everyone's just running over. As the music's starting, you can see one or two lads running through, and then there's just this giant swathe of people.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And you can hear it on the tannoy over the broadcast, and then saying stewards, you gotta get down. But they say that no stewards would have arrived, because they were like,
they were already ringside.
I'm watching this.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting that. There's 7,000 of them lunatics coming.
Who do you think told them to come over?
There's a lot of the stewards take off their steward jackets and just start watching the fight. They take good seats down by ringside as well.
Amazing.
And the other classic line you'll hear will be will people please return to their seats?
Amazing.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I can't wait to start doing hotkeys. It's mainly just from this. It'll be the entire podcast from now on. But Conrad said he had a feeling that something like this might happen, something similar, because
based on what? Just fucking
the obvious.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, he said mainly it was that Conrad had been chatting to a lad in a pub a couple of days beforehand, and he goes, you going to the fight? He said, oh yeah. He said, and you have your ticket already? And he said, I'll be going, but I won't be buying a ticket. So yeah. We know what the old saying, where there's smoke, there's 7,000 lads rushing
hopping over.
Hill 16. The fight began. They couldn't stop it, and also Ali and the lads didn't care because they'd been paid up front.
It was just Buddy on the ground pulling his hair out.
So the fight begins, and you'll hear. I recommend everyone go watch the fight because it's fun as well. It's good fun. But the shouts from the crowd are phenomenal. It's like, "Up you buyer, Muhammad!
God, Muhammad, you buyer!
Send him back to the penitentiary." Which isn't. I think at some point even some of Ali's team were like, stop saying that. That's not okay. The best one, and I haven't heard this. I've wrote down. I haven't heard it yet.
Yeah.
Go on, hit him. You've got the wind at your back.
Yeah.
Something so beautiful about that. It's like, this
Muhammad had him in the third round, but to be fair, he's playing with the wind.
With the wind,
yeah,
the
wind was a big factor. And you've got the wind at your back.
Yeah. Oh, the yells would have been. Oh, What a time to be.
If they found out he was a Clare man, they would have been going fucking nuts. The Banner men would have been out in force.
So the fight begins. It's Ali jabbing and moving. Lewis just throwing a load of bombs, and he's missing most of them. But he does hit Ali a couple of times. As that's the earlier rounds. As we get to the fifth round, Ali drops him. Angelo Dundee, his coach, he swore that Lewis was down for 22 seconds. In fact, it was like 14 or 15 seconds. That's not the rule in boxing. Everyone thinks that. So it's really annoying that it's not 10 seconds. It's the 10 count. And it's not, usually it is just over a second, but it's not. He was down for 10 seconds. He should have been knocked out.
Yeah.
Also, it starts from the second that the other fighter goes back to his own corner.
Yeah.
So if Ali's standing over him, kind of dancing or whatever, like just say
that wouldn't be like
it was.
That wouldn't be my Ali.
It's about 14 or 15 seconds altogether that he's down. The referee says, "Well, the first 3 seconds is me getting Ali away from the man who's been concussed, who's lying on the ground."
Yeah.
The 9th round is the only round really where Lewis has some like proper success, and he hits Ali flush. And he does a little wobble. It's not like he's not gone, but he's like a little. You're like, oh Jesus, there's something there. There's something. And then the corner yells out. They say, "Hit him with one more, Blue," and he says, "I ain't got one more."
Yeah.
I suppose he had just landed flush with his best shot. And Ali's still just there.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, balls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
it's demoralizing.
Yeah, so he says that. He's like, I ain't got one more left. And then the corner say, shit, we got to put more brandy in the water.
Yes.
So that's the 9th round. Then, so the 10th round ends. Ali, so the next round after that ends. Ali goes back to his corner. Some context for the fight. We'd mentioned already that Ali had a cold.
Yes.
So he was probably a little dehydrated from that. A little bit of the weight cutting, the training, or whatever. He was drinking. He must have been drinking a lot of water.
Yeah.
He was holding a lot of liquid there. So he sits down and says, "I'm going to have to finish him in this round. I'm dying for a piss."
Yeah.
It's been scheduled for 12 rounds. The announcer says that in the beginning. It's on the program. It says 12 rounds. Ali steps out for the 11th round, looking for a quick KO. But then all of a sudden, the ref steps in and calls the end of the fight. He's like, the 11th round starts. It's like a minute in. Now, in fairness, if you watch it, he is like Lewis is out on his feet, and he's like at some point he even has to put his hand up on the rope.
He's wobbling.
But a lot of people had said the problem was the fight was being streamed on TV. Very high tech for the time, considering it's in Ireland.
That is very high tech.
It's been sent back to the States.
Yeah.
But the States are on a schedule. And it's not like Ireland where it's like, it'll be grand, just push it back or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just for us. The satellite was only going to work until 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And it's currently 9:45.
Okay.
And
so just like wind it up.
The end of this.
God damn.
So that you can see Ali, win or whatever at the end of it.
Yeah.
So I think the referee, it's probably 50-50. It's a bit of both. That the ref steps in and ends it then. So they call it.
There's some famous instance of one of the Super Bowls. Like the first time it happens, it goes into enough extra time that it's coming up against whatever the next scheduled programming is, and one of the stations or maybe one of the whole time zones decides to just show the next movie. So like at the end, like the fucking overtime of the Super Bowl, they're like, all right, well, that was all we had time for there. So up next, it's Wizard of Oz or whatever.
Louise,
yeah, just some dog shit movie and people went fucking ballistic.
Hey, look, someone had to make that mistake. So other people do.
Exactly.
Not to do it
someone had to make the call, and now it's probably named after. I think there's some term for it named after the movie they ended up showing. But anyway,
yeah.
So this whole time, John Sullivan standing in the corner, be like, "What the fuck?
12 rounds.
We're only getting going, ref. You're calling it a 10?
145 rounds of no time limit. How about that?
Yeah. What about putting more brandy in the water? Why are you drinking water at all?
Should be champagne.
What was it? Champagne and tea? Is that his thing?
It was a lot of things in that concoction. So the referee calls it.
What are these gloves that everyone's talking about?
Why aren't you poking him in the eye?
Come on.
But Ali, so he wins, and he's like, perfect, now I get to go in and have a piss. Odie, he doesn't, because instantly, do you know those 18,000 fans who didn't heed the rules of buying
they
tickets?
climbed over a wall to get into the place.
They all climbed.
Did they not respect the ring?
No, everyone bum rushes the ring.
Yeah.
25 minutes. He's swarmed. is like 25 minutes goes by and then some lad jumps up on the ring and starts screaming, look, the champion has given a great night's entertainment. Now be fair, Muhammad wants to go to his dressing room.
Yeah.
And it says there's a little silence for a couple of seconds and then some lad yells out, bring the dressing room to Muhammad. We're not moving.
That's great.
Yeah.
Biblical reference. Very nice.
And so, yeah, he's just waiting and he has to shake hands with everyone.
Yeah.
And eventually, I think they say it's about 25 minutes, half an hour, he finally gets back in, he goes for his wee.
Yeah. He definitely pissed himself there.
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
Or you find a bottle or something, yeah, you'd figure it. No, because then everyone have a story. If that was your Ali story, I handed him the bottle, he pissed.
He pissed on me.
There wasn't a whole lot of time for celebrating. He flies out the next morning at 7 a.m. He doesn't be hanging around Ireland.
No.
Harold Conrad said in the end, he lost 6,000 quid, but I reckon he made some money from bits like somewhere.
It seems like maybe not.
Maybe not.
Money at every angle.
It's not too bad for him because he has said that he's organised a fight for Ali a couple of years before over in, I think that was the Switzerland one, but he's like, he lost a lot. And that was one of the big things of him getting Ali to agree to this one. He was like, remember that other dog shit one I promoted for you? I took the hit on everything.
Yeah.
He's like, do this one for me. Still didn't work out great for him.
I'll take a smaller hit.
But, not for that, like Conrad's rich ish. He's doing all right. Him and his wife are living kind of like the high life. They like being around. They've met a load of celebrities. They've had a great time in Dublin. This is a lot of money to lose. It's not as bad as Buddy. Buddy comes out and he swore, and he's an honest man, an honest, truthful fella. He says that he only lost 20,000. It wasn't that bad.
Oh, fuck.
There's
no way.
It's definitely a lot more than that. They say that as a good man of his word, that he actually pays everyone. He doesn't stiff anybody. And they say everyone goes over to his house in the next couple of days and he just has a big black bag of cash.
Yeah.
And he's paying everyone in cash. They come around, like all the lads who handed out the programs still get paid for their work. Like he's a man of the people. He's a good man.
He's a good man. God damn. That's the real fight. Just like some.
I'm going to say he lost a lot more than that because the banker who said, "Oh yeah, but he's good for 300,000." He has 2 weeks later he has a heart attack and dies.
The banker does. Fuck. When Buddy came in and started going on about that he's going to bring Muhammad Ali over to fight, I thought he was just talking shit as usual. I didn't think they actually have to fucking put the money up.
Well, yeah, so
he's in here every other week talking that shit.
I think he
said he's going to organise a kick-a-pound with Pele the other day.
He was going to drive a tractor over his son. Yeah. Like, you actually thought he was going to bring Ali to it.
Like, hey, good man, buddy. You're good for it.
In the end, I think he's left with he has his pub in the Shepherd's Bush, the Wellington. I think he has the Admiral Nelson, whatever. Yeah, he's left with at least two of his big pubs, and they're still like profitable.
They're British names as well.
Yeah, but they're in the UK. And he'd said, I have a quote there somewhere, maybe I didn't write it down, that he does say at some point, he's like, I don't mind English, Irish, black, white. We should bring everyone together in my pub.
That's good.
He doesn't say the pub line, but he is like, everyone should be just friends together. Because if everyone's friends, I can make a lot more money.
As long as they're pinting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to ruin the Buddy Sugru story, so I'll tell you what happens to him afterwards in the Buddy Sugru episode.
Right.
But as for Ali, he goes on to continues being the greatest showman in the world, arguably the best boxer to ever step foot in the ring.
Yeah.
And definitely the best showman, maybe to ever grace any sport and probably any form of entertainment.
I only found out when I was reading earlier, we'll cut this if it's not right, but I think one of his daughters owns, or maybe it was his wife, but licensed Greatest of All Time Incorporated.
Oh.
It was back in the 90s, I guess, but GOAT Incorporated.
GOAT, yeah.
And he owns it.
Ah.
For one of his descendants.
Yeah, no, yeah. But yeah, people from his entourage say that Ireland had a great effect on him and that he'd been beforehand, obviously, very anti-white.
Yeah, but with all the caveats of like, if you're Jewish, Italian, Irish, that's not white.
But what specifically, I think he's meant like he did still not like white people. Again, mainly American ones, but that he didn't go as hard on people after that anymore and kind of stopped talking about the hatred of the white man because the people of Ireland like loved him so much, and he could feel it. He's like, that's the whitest place in the world, and everyone was nice to me. Like, no, he's like, I'm still going to keep saying this stuff and I believe it, but maybe I am wrong a little bit.
I think he left Nation of Islam in 75.
A little bit after and then there's later on in life he becomes a little more, he's a lot flip-floppy. It's but
what do you mean I'm not meant to marry this 6-year-old?
Yeah, the Ali, we'll leave all that stuff to go watch the documentaries.
Yeah.
He's not, I'd say, as much as, and I was getting, I was like reading the book and going through all of this, I was getting a bit emotional. I love Ali.
Yeah.
Very flawed individual.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible husband. Possibly, like bad father. Lots of, just not a great person.
Yeah.
But then brought a shining light to almost anyone he ever met, but then also lots of darkness and badness too. So, but it was just seeing he loved Ireland, and it was a great moment for him and a great time. And most people don't know this story. The amount of people have said it to us,
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's the time Ali fought in Croke Park, and people go, "What?"
Yeah,
it's like
the Ali.
The Ali, yeah. But then he said he was going to come back sooner, but he didn't until 2009. And he came back over with his wife. Then he was back. He came and went down to Clare because he never got a chance to go down.
Yeah.
So he stopped off. He would have been riddled with the Parkinson's and that by then.
Yeah.
But he went back to the birthplace of his great grandfather, Abe.
Interesting.
Yeah. But that's the time Muhammad Ali came to Ireland to fight Al Blue Lewis.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. And we're going to do a whole Butty episode. We'll see. There might be a mini Mike Meaney one, and Mike Meaney could just be part of the Butty Sugru one, which is I don't know if that's on the regular feed or on the behind the paywall for the Head Stuff Plus. Great story. What do you think? What I've told you there about Butty is just
so keen for Butty.
the surface.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right. Yeah. Good luck.
Shafter.